Hi, Petra.
Hi, Josie. So lovely to see you again.
Nice to see you too. I'm in sunny Melbourne today, and I know you're in sunny, I think sunny Gold Coast.
It's not sunny at all,
No,
actually. It's raining. We had I was saying this feels like Melbourne weather since
no.
yesterday. So we reversed. You have the sunny Melbourne and we have a rainy
Yeah, we
Gold
had a
Coast.
beautiful day. Well, those beautiful winter days in Melbourne when you know spring is just
Mm,
coming.
yeah.
So, speaking of spring, we're going to Bali in spring, and we've got a few more spots left. So, we want to excite and entice people to think about spring, well, Australian spring
Australian
in
spring, that's right. Yeah.
in Bali, or if you're in the northern hemisphere, it'll be fall.
Hmm.
And thinking about so both of those, in some ways, spring and fall, they're both really beautiful seasons, aren't they? They're transition seasons when you think about it.
Transition into, yeah, to either a rest or transition into a new beginning.
That's
So
right.
whether you are from the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, during these transitions, I think it's
Yeah.
nice to go inwards and do a retreat.
Hmm. That's right. That's right. So I'm really looking forward to it
So
myself.
excited.
Yeah, really exciting. And we've got this incredible venue which is
Yeah.
just stunning, 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 stunning. I can't wait. And everyone gets their own room which is stunning, 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 and private bathroom and all of
Yes.
that. So,
That's so rare for the retreat as well. Like myself, I've been to retreats in the past and it was
hmm,
always so nerve-wracking about sharing the
sharing.
room with a stranger, and there's
Yeah,
like so much negotiations you have to do and being considerate. And so it's so nice to have that private space. And I went to Avalon last year actually, and
mm.
I absolutely fell in love with it. And then I told you about it, saying we have to
Yeah,
do our next
we have to do
retreat
it.
there because it's just incredible. It's
Mm.
huge. There's a beautiful river. There's this lost city right next to the Avalon, which the owner kind of built. It's absolutely breathtaking. I've never seen anything like it. There's just so many beautiful
They're
statues of
creative.
goddesses. So it's perfect for the feminine retreat.
It's going to be amazing. It's going
Yeah.
to be amazing. So I wanted to talk about and also share with others about the work that you do in particular, because on retreat you do group therapy practice. And when I sort of say that to people, many people don't know what that is. So I thought, well, let's just have a chat about what that is. And it's almost it's something you have to experience to understand. But you've been doing this work for a long time. So I thought I'll ask you. So how would you describe group hypnotherapy?
So the group setting is not that much different as opposed to when you do an individual. So during the individual hypnotherapy, there might be some interaction when you are asking the person specific questions while you go into the subconscious mind. And in group hypnotherapy, that really doesn't matter. We don't really do that. It's more
Mm,
about the group experience where we together collectively go to a deep state of hypnosis, which is almost like a guided meditation. When people ask me, what is a hypnosis?
yeah,
Is it anything scary? Am I going to act like a chicken? Or, when they see the hypnosis shows. So the purpose of a clinical hypnotherapy is very different to the
no
stage
chickens.
show one. It's completely different.
Mm,
We go into a progressive relaxation, which feels a little bit like meditation, and you
mm,
go to the
mm,
deep state where we access the subconscious mind. And once we are able to access
mm.
the subconscious mind, we are able to talk to it. And all the patterns that the subconscious mind has created since our childhood or since,
Mm.
the past years or so, we are able to rewrite them or create a new story. So it's really nicely done in a group setting because I'm there to guide you as a group. You all share the same experience collectively as well. We create a beautiful energy.
Yeah,
And afterwards, everybody has a different experience as well because everyone's subconscious mind works differently. So it's beautiful to, once you awake from the hypnotic state, to share with the other women or other people what was your experience. And
yes.
it's very beautiful healing space when it can happen in a group.
Mm. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I love that debrief that happens afterwards where people are talking about their experience and I and reinforcing and supporting each other's experiences. I think that there's something really special about that and it almost for people that have never done this work, it almost feels a bit easier in a group. It's more gentle. There's nothing awkward about it. People go into it even if they've never had any experience. Do you find that too, Petra? Do you kind of agree with me in that?
Absolutely, yeah, because you have that shared experience. So rather than oftentimes when you are in a session, when you go to therapy or hypnotherapy or healing or whatever your thing is, it could be quite intimidating, and you get in that very, very vulnerable state. Whereas if there's a beautiful group of women, let's go into this together, let's unlock those subconscious beliefs that are limiting us. Let's go and heal that inner girl within us together collectively. It's just energetically something special really happens when we are in that beautiful setting in Bali as well, with that beautiful energy around us. Yeah, I think we had some powerful experiences in the past as well that women shared with us during the group hypnotherapy sessions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for me too, like, I mean, I participate as well, so that's why I enjoy it too. So when I participate and you're doing that work with the group, I find that I think it's because we are tapping into the unconscious. Those images that come up, those insights that come up, they stay. They're not fleeting. It's I love talking about my issues and my problems too. I love talking therapies. I'm a real advocate for that too. But it's a shortcut, isn't it? Can you talk about that a little bit, Petra, about the shortcut to the unconscious? Why are we even trying to deal with the unconscious? What's that about?
Yeah, well, as Carl Jung said, whatever, if you don't make the unconscious conscious, then it will forever run the show. So the whole purpose to access the unconscious is to go deep and find the patterns and then heal them. Because during the traditional therapy, which is of course also very beneficial, oftentimes we are not aware of our unconscious patterns, and it could take us years and years to figure it out. Whereas when we go into the hypnotic state, we talk to those parts that need healing, they need attention, that perhaps might be a little bit wounded, or they are there to protect us, but not in a favorable way. And we talk to those parts and we integrate them within our personality, which is a little bit of a different process. And as you said, could be a bit of a shortcut, or we could kind of
Yeah.
speed things up in
Mm,
our
mm,
healing journey. Because
mm,
that's what
mm,
happens really whenever we need to create healing, or if we want to overcome something, we need to make all the unconscious conscious. And once we are
yeah.
aware, that's enough. Because once we are aware of those patterns, then we can be a little bit more cautious of
Yes.
how we are projecting
Mm,
to the world. So we need to make the subconscious or the unconscious, the unknown, known, so that we
mm,
can start consciously recreating those patterns as
mm,
well,
yeah.
and we can pay attention to those parts that needs healing as well. Sometimes that's all it is to healing or to personal growth, because not everything about is healing, is that we just become aware of the unconscious, and then we have this awareness, and then we are able to change patterns, change our life, because we have this
Mm,
awareness. And oftentimes people just don't have the awareness, so it's really difficult to progress and grow if the awareness is not there. So
mm,
accessing our subconscious mind helps us with that awareness, if that makes sense.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you were talking about healing the inner girl. Is it always the inner girl?
That needs healing, yes, I would say so, because in our we all have different parts within us, right? We could have different 100 parts or 1,000 parts. We have the angry part, we have the part that is sensitive, we have the part that is driven, we have the part that wants to relax. And we will talk about these parts in the forms of
Yes.
archetypes
Yeah.
at the retreat. So we have 4 different kind of major archetypes that are pretty much just like a cluster of behavior or characteristics that are oftentimes portrayed in women or in the history of feminine psychology. And one of the part is our inner girl, because every single woman was once a girl, and that girl hasn't left. Just because we've grown up doesn't mean we've lost that little inner girl. She's still there. And if we did not attend to the inner girl, if she was wounded, which we always have some level of wounds, because growing up we might have received love differently to what we had liked, or we didn't receive the love at all, or we were hurt at school by our caretakers, parents, siblings. There's always some kind of level of wound that needs attention and needs healing.
Mm.
And when we don't attend to our inner girl, if we forget about her, our life suffers. That's my belief system. We feel unbalanced. We feel like life is not enjoyable. We feel like everything is difficult, everything is
Mm.
hard. There's so much pressure and so much to do. We carry so much on our shoulders.
Mm.
And one of the ways of how to make our life a little bit more enjoyable and soften is to connect with this inner girl and give her all the things she didn't receive or wanted to
Mm-hmm.
receive when she
Yeah.
was a girl, when she was a child. And that's the
Yeah.
number one, or the first step towards healing,
Mm.
is to recognize those wounds, recognize this inner girl and start to develop relationship with her again, because so many of us just completely forgot about her. And I see it so many times in women, right? They're such a great mothers. They give so much to their
Yes.
children,
Yes.
and then they completely forget about themselves.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I keep saying to them, the way you treat your children, you need to treat your little inner girl within
Mm.
you
Yeah.
as well. You know how to do it. You have the resources. You just have to do it for yourself, and don't feel
Mm.
guilty or ashamed about it either.
Mm. I love that. I love that you said to remind yourself, to really nurture that inner girl, because she's always still there. I've experienced that in my life firsthand, and I know what it's like to have, continue to do that. If I can tell you a story, I don't think I've told you this, Petra. I was coming out of a very bad marriage, so it was a divorce, which is terrible. It's
Mm.
something I hope many people will never experience. So it was traumatic. And I went to therapy, and part of the therapy was to, do some inner work and particularly heal that wound and heal that inner girl. And an exercise that I had to do to remind myself to continue to nurture that little girl was to carry around a little teddy bear. And so I
Yeah.
would carry around this little teddy bear in my handbag. And no one knew that I was carrying around my teddy bear, but it was my reminder that that little girl's still there. I'm healing, to be kind to myself, to keep nurturing myself. And I remember one girlfriend who had also gone through some therapy. She noticed the teddy bear in my handbag, and she didn't. All she said was, "Little girl," and I said, "Yeah." And then we both laughed because she knew what I was doing. And you know what? Because it goes to that whole thing about not having shame over needing to do that. We are, when we're grown women, when we're particularly in the world as queens and working and, raising families and looking after people and being dependable, but it's okay to do that work and go back to an acknowledgement that, yes, there's a part of me that needed healing around that little girl. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's such a
Yeah.
beautiful reminder. And I like that um, talisman metaphor almost,
Yeah.
because that's healing as well.
Yes,
Kind of spiritual practices, people often have different talismans, and they
I know.
assign different spiritual meanings to them, but sometimes it's just a psychological association. Yeah.
That's right. And I don't have that teddy bear anymore. I think I can't remember who I gave it to, but I gave it to someone who needed it. So
Yeah. Yeah. One
might
of
come
the
up in life somewhere. We might return one day. I don't know. It'd
yeah
be interesting.
One of the things I did as well as a part of healing my inner girl, and it was a little bit more of a embodied practice. So rather than reminding, for me, it was very important to embody it, to actually experience it, what it's like to be a little carefree girl, because I never really had that, you know? So it was really interesting for me to actually experience it without the shame. And I went on to Bali actually to do this work. And it was just so beautiful. I did it very consciously when I said to myself, I'm just going to channel my inner girl. And I'll be walking around with my cute little dresses and being silly and funny and laugh and take pictures. And it was such a beautiful experience to go through. Although eventually it felt like, oh, this is silly, you know, or this is cringe, why you're doing this. And then once you start embodying it, it becomes so natural. And you start to feel more joy and more happiness in your life. And it
Can
doesn't mean you stay
imagine.
like that always. You just
Yeah,
connect with that part. And then you can bring that part when it's needed, you know, when you need to have
exactly.
fun, when you need to soothe yourself, when you need to be kind to yourself also,
Mm,
when it's
mm,
needed in your life
yeah.
to start to
Mm-mm.
rebalance in these different energies.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was picturing you in Bali. In that little girl energy. I imagine you were very fun. I can imagine it was fun.
Yeah, and you know, Bali is such a great place because it
Yeah.
has there's so many adventures that you can
Mm,
do, and so many shopping and photo opportunities and things like that. So yeah,
fantastic. That's wonderful. So I guess the other practice that you do is womb healing, the womb healing ceremony. And we do lots of ceremony, but womb healing in particular. Tell me a little bit about that. What can people expect, around that? And maybe you don't have to describe it all, but what would they expect to feel after that?
yeah. So as women, we store our emotions in our womb. It's not just, you know, like a woo woo thing. You know, we store our emotions in our hips and specifically in our womb as well. Our sorrows, our pain, anxiety, and oftentimes we block our womb with these pain and we don't know how to release it. And womb healing is a specific set of exercises where we actually somatically shake and release all the trauma, all the pain that we have accumulated and perhaps haven't dealt with, or we just brush under the carpet. So I always believe that as much as we work with our mind and we can do therapy, hypnotherapy, if we don't release our pain somatically through our body, we
Yes.
can't really fully grow or let go or heal. I don't like to say fully heal because we never, you know, fully healed or anything.
Yeah.
But you know, it's hard for us to progress. I would say
Mm,
in life,
yeah.
whether it's, you know, shaking, dancing, belly dancing is amazing form of releasing as well, especially
Yeah.
when we're doing the shimmies, which we will do as well.
Which we will do.
But womb healing is
Yeah.
specifically just for our womb area. And also, it's about connecting with that part as well, as opposed to just connecting with an inner girl. We need to connect with our feminine energy, with
Yeah.
our sensuality. And oftentimes that comes from connecting and developing a relationship with our womb, because oftentimes we are so disconnected, there's no relationship. And that's when we start developing different medical issues as well in that region. So it's so important to release, to start developing a relationship and talking to our womb as well, because it holds so much wisdom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thank you for that, Petra. I really love the way you explained that, and I've experienced that ceremony, that exercise as well, and it's very powerful. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I love it. I
Yeah.
can't wait to do it again with you. It's so powerful.
It's been one of the most profound parts of my healing journey. That's why I like
Mm,
to keep bringing it to women as well, because I've experienced
mm,
it myself for the first time when I went on the retreat in Europe. And
mm.
wow, it was just absolutely profound how much of a shedding happened in that moment.
Mm.
You know, each time I do the womb healing, because I always like to do it with you in the group, because we can do the womb healing on our own at home as well. But when it's in a group setting, again, as we talked about earlier, it's just so
Amplified.
powerful. It's like
Yeah.
10 times, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
unfold. And each time I do it, there's always something else I'm experiencing and
Mm.
I'm releasing, whether it's the pain, whether it's the anger, the tension, anxieties, or resentment, or
Yes.
whatever, you know, we tend to hold within us as humans.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Petra. Let's we might wrap up there because it's Saturday and there are things to do. And thank you so much for your time. And let's keep talking about what people can expect on the retreat and also about your work. I'm really keen to hear a little bit more as we keep talking about feminine power and particularly the things that we bring to empowering women to bring their whole selves to every facet of their lives. So thank you, Petra. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was so lovely talking to you as always, and
Yeah,
I
nice
can't
to
wait
talk to
to
you
talk
too.
more.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you
Beautiful.
soon.